All right, well, hey everybody, Rob Satcham here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, the Google Webmaster console. I'm going to dive into Bing Webmaster and I'm going to show you how to set up your own website. So if you're a DIYer or even if you're a web design professional and you're looking at how do I start setting up these web entities so that they actually have a marketing system behind them. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's dive right in, and hopefully this is just one of the most helpful tutorials that you can do. And by the way, the year is 2020. It's March. We're in Corona madness right now, and boy, I'm trying to create some more inbound content to help people out. If you'd like help with any of this, particularly running campaigns after or setting this up, give me a shout, rob@feedbackwrench.com. You can send us an email, go to our website, feedbackwrench.com, and we'd love to help you no matter what. God bless, and hopefully this is helpful. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do here is, what you should know is that we want to start out with using Google Tag Manager, but we kind of have to set up Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager together. Google Tag Manager is essentially going to put one code into the website in the header of your website, and then from there, that's going to push your Google Analytics, your Facebook Pixel, your LinkedIn Pixel, and everything else that's going to come with it. Now, I've got a new website here that I'm working with. It's a local guy who does frozen pizzas, and traditionally he's been doing deliveries to bars and taverns, and now I'm trying to help him do online stuff. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to come into Google Analytics, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a new account, right? That's always one of the first things. I'm going to just do this under my under Feedbackwrench here, and what we do is we come down to admin. So first of all, log into Google Analytics if you don't have it already, and we're going to go down to admin and we're going to hit create account. And this account I'm going to be naming Firehouse Frozen Pizza. Once you've named it, sit next. It's going to be for web. If you had an app, you could do web and app, hit next. Again, I'm just going to keep naming it consistently so it's all good. So I'm going to put the website name in there. Then I'm going to come down into the website URL. Now it's built on Webflow. I prefer Webflow compared to any other platform. And what you'll see here is because we're on Webflow, we have the HTTPS, we do have an SSL, and that means that in the analytics setup here, we're going to select HTTPS, and then what we're going to do, I'm just going to grab the URL because it's a little bit easier. And what we're going to be using is the www. There is such thing as having a different, some of them have www. You're going to select an industry here. It's not huge. So this is food, business, and industrial markets. We are on GMT 5 Chicago time, so now I'm going to hit create. Sorry if when I zoom in and out, it sometimes scales a little bit and does some strange things with the scaling, so sorry about that if that happens. Now I'm going to accept all of these things that are basically saying they're going to spy on us and they're going to have our data. So now once we've created the Google Analytics code, I have what's called the tracking ID. The tracking ID is right here, and that's one of the things that we needed. Now what I'm going to do is if you go up to the top of Google Analytics, and you'll see that there's multiple things here. You have Analytics, Tag Manager, Optimize, Data Studio, and Surveys. Click on Tag Manager. So we're kind of doing this together, and I'm going to go down to Accounts page because I'm going to create a new Google Tag Manager account for this customer. So I'm going to hit Create Account. I'm going to do the same type of thing. So Firehouse Frozen Pizza. I'm going to share data with Google because I'm like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do www.firehousepizza.com, and then we're going to do this for web. So agree to all of the things unless you don't want to do this. If you don't want to agree, that's totally fine. But here we go. So now we have the script, okay? And the script, there's two portions that we're going to be putting in here. So this guy goes into the head, and then the other one goes into the body. You don't want this in the, it doesn't necessarily have, here's what I do. So in, you have WordPress, and then you're going to have Webflow. So I like using Webflow much better than WordPress, but I guess I could even show you how to do it on WordPress. In Webflow here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in and I go to custom code, and I put the head code in the head, and then you have the footer code is essentially what you're going to do here. which goes into the body. It sounds weird. It's footer, but it goes body. And once I do that, I'm going to hit Save Changes. Now in Webflow, I have to publish it and save it. You'd have to do the same thing in WordPress. If you were in a WordPress, real quick, I'm going to jump into a WordPress install that I have. And what this is going to do is show you, what I'm going to do is just show you exactly where to put this on the Divi theme. So you have Divi, Beaver Builder, Elementor, normal WordPress. If you don't have one of the more powerful themes, you're going to have to go in and actually put a plugin in there. And if you go to plugin and you just do head code, there's a couple different plugins. If you're in Divi, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the Divi section on the lower left. And once you get to the lower left, you're going to go to theme options. And when you're in theme options, what I would do is I would come and get this code again, grab the head code, and whoa. In fact, I don't even know if I had. And then what you're going to go is to integration. So here you've got the head code that you can put in there, and then the body code, and that's where you would put the codes. And once you do that, you save it, you're ready to go. So this works for either or. Now, once I've got this in here, I'm going to say OK. All right, so now Tag Manager is a little bit different. We're going to use Tag Manager as one code. It's the one JavaScript that then is going to insert everything else. There's an advantage to doing it this way. One, it's easier for webmasters to manage. Two, there's only one JavaScript code opening, so it ends up being a little bit cleaner. You tend to have a little bit higher speeds, and it's easier on the machine rather than going in and entering an analytics code, entering in a Google Ads code, and entering in all the different things that could be in there. And this is going to be the tool that you use for audiences and doing remarketing audiences, doing tracking, setting up all sorts of the conversion actions for Facebook ads, Google ads, and whatnot. So here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to create a tag. So there's two things in here. Well, three things you'll want to pay attention to. You have tags, triggers, and variables. I guess the first thing I do is I come to variables, and if you hit configure, what we want to do is we want to turn on some particular variables that we get to mess with. Don't worry if you don't understand this yet, but go to variables, hit configure, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for sure click target, click URL, click text, and then form elements. So what we're doing is clicks and forms. Those are the most important things, because generally speaking, if you're going to do a conversion action, you're clicking a phone number, which is a URL, or you're filling out a form. And once you've got that, all you're going to do is go back to overview up here, and now what we've done is turn those variables on. But here's what we're going to do. Go to tags, and we're going to create a tag. So you have tags and triggers. Triggers are, we would use those variables like if you clicked a link, or if you filled out a form, or if you loaded a page, or if you clicked a button. That would be a trigger, and that's like the if then this. Tags are the this, essentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, and just watch this, we're going to enter the analytics tag code. So this is kind of weird. So I'm going to go to new. The first thing we're going to do is install Google Analytics. So I'm going to label this Google Analytics base code. And the tag configurer over here, you'll notice there's some pre-done tags. And you have the Google Analytics Universal Analytics. That's what we're going to be doing right now. And we're not doing a web or app, but click that. And what you'll see here is we're going to do page view. So the idea is we start with sending signals to Google every time somebody's on the site, and that's the tracking code. So we're going to go page view, and then Google Analytics setting. Okay, do the drop down and do new variable. And here's where we're going to look over here, and we're going to find the tracking code. Okay, once you have the tracking code, we're going to copy and paste that, and that was under admin. If you don't have this admin, and I'm just going to, we're saved. So you go to admin, property settings, and here's your tracking ID number. So not the code, but the ID number. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to put the tracking ID number for your Google Analytics. Then you're going to hit save. We're going to save that, Google Analytics. All right, so the tag is every time there's a page view, we're going to register page views to that analytic. Now we're going to go into trigger, and you're going to select all pages as a trigger. So basically we're saying the entire website, we're going to be sending page view information to the Google Analytics. Okay, hit save. Now, that's the first part of it. So we just created our first tag, and what I'm going to do here is we're going to hit submit. Okay, and I'm just going to name it. You have a version name and some notes, so that as people tinker with things, you can, you imagine complex websites. You might have thousands of these. But analytics 1, and that's all I ever do, is just real basic for the first one. All I want to do is get this going. So I'm publishing that, and so it went to versions. I'm going to go back to the workspace, and here's an interesting thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this preview button up here to see if that works. So I'm going to hit preview, and preview, what it does is it takes my window for that website, and now if I refresh this website, I'm going to be able to see some tag manager information. And down here, you have a summary window loaded, you have variables, you have data layer errors. So over here for tags, you'll see I've got the Google Analytic tag, and it was fired 1 time. So we can see that it worked. Success. That's the first part of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple different things you're going to want to do in Google Analytics that are pretty important. We'll come back to Tag Manager later, but go back to this property settings. So again, we're hitting admin and then property settings, and I turn on the demographics and interest reports, enhanced link, and I hit save. Now I'm going in an order because it just kind of makes sense, and this is going to be a little bit longer video, but the next thing I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to search on the internet Google Search Console. So there's this Google Search Console, and Search Console is essentially what it is it's where Google goes to understand what should be searched and crawled. So I go to this Google Search Console, which is search.google.com/search-console. So if you're getting confused, well, whatever. I'm just going to hit start now. I already have a whole bunch of properties in here. And what I'm going to do is once you're in here, I'm going to go to add property. Now, when you hit add property, so we're going to submit our site now. Let's just make sure your site is up and running. You've got like the meta titles and descriptions up to date, the page titles. Like, don't do this if your site is super half baked, especially if you have a bunch of if you used a theme that had a whole bunch of demo pages that aren't necessarily relevant. That's where you really want to be careful. All right, so for the Search Console, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to add in both the www and non-www. So I think, oh, no, I don't have it. So I'm just going to grab, I'm lazy with copy and paste versus, so I'm going to paste it in here and I'm going to hit continue. So that was https://www.firehouse.grill. Now it's saying, wait a minute, you're trying to get information from search on this website. Who are you? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Google Tag Manager. And for some reason, this doesn't work very well. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to do an HTML tag. I'm going to take that tag. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go into Tag Manager. And I'm going to go New Tag. And I'm going to say Create New. And this is Search Console. And I'm going to do Tag Configuration. Then over here, I'm going to go to Custom HTML. I'm going to paste that in as the meta title and description. That should go, well, so that's one way to do it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to say triggered on all pages, Search Console, save. I'm going to submit, and I think this works. Actually, this is kind of funny. I'm not totally sure if this is how, you know what, I think what I have to do, let me just show you here. I'm pretty sure I actually need to, I don't think this works. We're going to learn out loud. I'm starting to remember that I already did this and it didn't go. So we'll publish it and then let's verify it and see if it works. I kind of feel like because it's like a, yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that same HTML tag. Well, maybe we just try Tag Manager. What happened usually is that yeah, see, Tag Manager doesn't work either. So what I usually do is I grab the HTML tag, you grab this tag, and I'm going to head over into the site again where I put that Google Tag Manager tag. We're going to head there, and I'm going to plop this into the head of the site, hit Save Changes. Again, on WordPress, this is, in Divi, it's the Divi section. There's different places for it. And, all right, so publish to selected domains. Once that's published, kind of give it a second. Now this publishes really close. Just so you know, as a side note, if you're using a caching plugin for WordPress, what you'll want to do is go in there and shut the caching off, or flush the cache, delete the cache. So go to your cache and delete it. Sometimes you'll sit there and it never sees it, and that's why. So, all right, so now we give that a second. If we hit verify, there we go. So it saw the HTML tag, and now it's going to give me permissions. And you think about that. Somebody could hijack your site. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the property without the www. And just so you know, there's two types. There's this domain, which is kind of the all-encompassing one, and then the URL prefix. You're going to find out why you want to do the URL prefix for sure, and you can add the domain. The domain requires you to go in and add a TXT file, which is good too. But there's a reason why you want to do it this way, because in analytics, we're going to be connecting this search console. And if you don't, so now I'm doing the same thing, but without www. And I'm going to continue, because there's kind of two versions of the site. You just want to make sure they're in there. All right, so I've done both. So now let's go to the one I know I'm going to be using is the www for this site in particular. It doesn't matter, but I know that was the setting that was popping up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Sitemaps. And I know that the sitemap here, let's make sure if I go to SEO in Webflow, which Webflow is the cat's meow, I got to auto-generate sitemap. I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to hit save. If you have Yoast SEO or the WP SEO plugin, you can create a sitemap. And essentially what the sitemap is it's usually yourdomainname.com/sitemap.xml. Sitemap.xml is almost always what it is. I know that that's what it is here for Webflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go jump back in and we're going to submit it. So sitemap.xml. So submit the sitemap. And what that's going to do is get your site ready so that when new changes are coming, it's being periodically crawled. And that's what it's saying. So it found it. It's successful. This is a baby little site, not much in there. So there we go. Search console is good. I'm going to come back to analytics here. I'm going to hit save. And what I'm going to do is just refresh it. I don't know if you have to refresh it. I usually am doing that. Dunkin' Donuts black coffee. I fast. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to connect that search console to this whole situation. So again, if we're an admin, we come into property settings. So in analytics, admin, property settings, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do adjust search console, and I'm going to hit add. And what will happen is, and this is where what I'm going to do is Firehouse Frozen Pizza. There it is right there. I've got all these other sites. I'm just going to move fast because you don't need to read every other site I've been submitting. So what that just did is it connected the search console to that. We're going to want to do that with Google Ads as well, and there's a whole Bing Webmaster situation as well, which, in fact, let's just do that real quick. Let's open up Bing Webmaster. So type in Bing Webmaster Tools. We'll go to Bing Webmaster, new to Webmaster. Now, I already have an account. You'll have to make an account. In fact, I do it with Google, ironically. And so here's what's going to happen. So Bing Webmaster, we're going to do the exact same thing. So add a site. We're going to paste in the site here. I'm going to hit add. And then I'm going to do the same thing, sitemap.xml. And I'm going to hit add. Now, I'm telling you guys, Bing is important to update. Bing Places and Bing Site Webmaster Tools, because all you got to do is watch the, so what we're going to do here, now we got to verify, right? They're saying, wait a minute, you're trying to use this thing, you can do this XML file. All I'm going to do is insert the, this meta tag right here. I'm going to go back into the head code, custom code, and I'm going to put it in here. There's, like I said, there's about 5 ways to do this. I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible. Move quick. Sometimes you use the domain registrar. You go in and put the TXT file in there. All right, so published successfully. Every once in a while, guys, these will get ornery. In fact, this might get ornery in front of me, nope, there we go. So we got it. All right, so the cool thing is we just submitted, and now what I'll do is I'll do the exact same thing without the www. It sounds just ridiculous that you need to do both, but they are technically kind of two different sites. So let's take the www. Let's see how fast I can move. Add, verify. And what's funny is I've had it where sometimes you can verify one and not the other. It didn't do it this time. So that was perfect. So now it's submitted. Let's just chill out. We don't need to do much more than that. We can configure this site. You can come in and spend a bunch of time. what I've found is, bottom line is, you just submit it to them. Now they know about it and they like it. All you got to do is watch somebody get a new Windows computer and you start realizing Bing, Bing Ads, Bing Webmaster, and Bing Places are all super relevant, and people don't think of that. So, all right, so where are we at? So analytics, we're back here. We hit done. Our search console is connected, and now what will happen is we'll start getting search data. The next thing I do is I come into property management, user management, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to add users here that are owners of the site. So a lot of times I'm setting this up for people. This is where I'd come in and add the Gmail accounts, give them edit, collaborate, and manage users' permissions. So that they have ultimate power and they can actually have access to stuff. If you're a webmaster, for crying out loud, do that for people. I can't stand it when I meet a business owner and you're helping them and it's like they don't have logins for anything. Like they're just totally screwed up. All right, so now the next thing that we'd want to do is we'll just go one at a time here and we'll keep connecting things, okay? So analytics, for the most part, the base code is pretty much done. But now what I want to do is there are some interesting things that we would want to put in here, which is conversion tracking and click tracking, right? So let's head back into Google Tag Manager real quick, and let's create some new triggers. So let's just say new triggers. If you click a phone number, or if you click an email, or if you fill out a form, we're going to want a trigger to go, because that would be a conversion event, right? Now this site is simple. You can get into some really complex triggers, but let's create a new trigger right now. And what I'm going to call this is forms all. And I'm going to say when somebody does a form submission, so I'm going to select trigger configuration, form submission, and then I'm going to say all forms, okay? Because I'm not going to get picky here right now. If you wanted to, you could do some forms. And here's the catch. You would have to go in, and there's a bunch of different videos on this. You go to form ID, and you have to find the form ID in order to make that work. And that's not something I'm going to do right now. WordPress is particularly funky for doing that. It's not super easy, but in Webflow, the form ID, you can actually name it. It's super simple. That's a big reason why I like using Webflow. Besides it's faster, built-in SSL, it's easy to manage as a agency. So let's keep moving. Google Tag Manager, we're going to say all forms. Let's hit save. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this customer and I'm going to grab, he's got a phone number button. Where is his phone number? So down here, if you click this, now on a phone it would just pop up. It goes to FaceTime. But if you look at I'm doing the URL, and this is probably good for people to understand. I'm going to copy the link address, but whenever you have a phone number, what you should do is you should type in and have it go to a link, and the link should be TEL : plus one phone number. Okay, TEL : plus phone number. And what that will do is it will just automatically call, because some browsers in certain phones don't work out as well as what you'd hope. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this new, and I do I call this click telephone, TEL. And I'm going to say, so now just links. So if you click a link, and I'm going to say some links, and I'm going to say click target, click URL, equals, so you can do contains, equals, start, I'm doing equals, and I'm typing in that exact same thing, okay? So I'm going to hit save. Once I've hit saved, I am going to come over here and we'll hit submit real quick. Click. I'm just naming these fast and dirty because we're moving fast here. We're having fun and we are getting our site up and running. All right, so what we'll do is we'll come to Workspace and let's check something out. Let's refresh the preview. And if we come in and refresh the preview and then hit refresh on the site, look at this. We've got Search Console, Google Tag, and the tags are not deployed. The triggers are not deployed, but now we see the Search Console one and we see the other guy here. So now let's do the tag itself. So now we've got the trigger. So let's go first, create triggers, add variables, create trigger. And now we're going to create the tag. Go to tag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do form. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an event in analytics. Okay. Form analytics event. So We're going to come into the analytics. So I went quick there. Tag configuration, select an event. Now what I'm going to do is instead of page view, let's go down to event. And now we're going to be able to say form as a category. So you have category, action, and label. Then you have a value. But category, action, and label, you'll always want to have in there because it's kind of how you sort these events that would happen. You're going to want to do this so you can track stuff. You can make goals out of it and start seeing how things happen. So form, and then we'll just do form, and I like to Feedbackwrench in there. And then label, I'm going to hit this plus. And what I want to, I like seeing it labeled as the referrer. So I want to see where that, what was the page, where did this come from, right? And then you go down here and you got to select this search analytics or Google Analytics settings. You have to actually select the one you added in there. All right, so now what we're saying is in Google Analytics, we're going to create an event. We're going to do a category form, and then the action is we'll just do any form. And then we'll come down and the refer is labeling, and we have to select the analytics. We'll just leave it for that and then go triggering. And what we're going to say is forms all, hit save. Let's do the same thing with that phone number. So click phone tell, analytics, because we'll do this for AdWords as well. Let's select the analytics and event, phone, click to call, whatever you want to do here. And then, like I said, I like to label them so I know where. This one I want to see what page they did it on because I might overlay that all over the place. Again, select your Google Analytic that we had added. Go down to trigger, hit tell, and hit save. All right, we're cooking with fire now. We're gonna get going here. All right, so now let's submit this. Tags, whatever. You can get way more in depth with that. I just want to keep this simple and easy. Again, what we're going to do is refresh the preview, and now we will refresh this, and we'll see the tags should be here, but not fired. All right, they were here, but they did not fired. Forms analytic did not fired. Now let's go down here and watch this. Let's hide this, and we'll click boom, and what we should see, look at that. Tags fired on this page. Click phone analytics. Boom, we fired it. If I were to come back into analytics and look under real time and go to events, what we should have seen, and I don't remember, we're in preview mode, it might not send it over. Nope, there it is. So there's our one event. Boom, we got a click to call. So every time somebody does that, that's good. So someone could totally mess with you, but there's also, you can have it where it's a longer phone call. This is a pretty simple way to do it. So I'm going to leave preview mode, and we're good. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to dive into Google Ads real quick because while we're in here, it's probably important to set up Google Ads as well. Now,